She's so graceful. Oh, they gave the crowd fun stuff. Her shaping has gotten so much better. Hi guys, it's Alexi. Welcome back to part 2. Let's get into it. Okay, here we go with Hannah redoing her rumba, which was probably the dance of hers that I was most critical of as well. So, let's see it. I'm excited. Beautiful. So a little better on that. Lovely flow. Nice. She's so graceful. Good. She is settling into the hip a little more. She is getting there a little too early, but it's much better. Nice. Good. That's improved. It's not quite right, but it's much improved. Beautiful. Yeah. Really gorgeous. Her energy for the rumba is perfection. It's that very like sensual. There's always a little bit of tension to rumba. Great line. Beautiful. She's getting a little high in the feet again at the end there. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. Really very mesmerizing and beautiful to watch. That was fantastic rumba energy, right? That felt like a rumba should feel. She's incredibly graceful. So many of that was so beautiful. Technically speaking, it was much better with the hip actions. There was still a little bit of like slight clunkiness sometimes. I'm not saying that like to pick on her. It just is, especially in her side movements. She's doing a better job of settling into the hip, but it's a question of, it's just very complicated to get it like absolutely right. So I would be very impressed and surprised if she had it completely right. So again, I'm not being like hypercritical. It just, if I were to like pick on one thing, that would be it. Also again, at the end, she got like, again, kind of on the toes, but some of the other beautiful moments in there, right? She had like a great Latin walk, some beautiful Latin like arms and poses, and a lot of really rather complicated dips and tricks. So that was technically complex, and I really liked it. Len just said something that I loved, so I'm going to comment on it, which is that he said, in rumba, the hips are the rhythm and the arms are the melody. And that is a fantastic way of putting it, and I'm going to remember it. I love it. Before we get to the scores, a lot of, I'm not going to say drama because that sounds dismissive, but a lot of emotions running high between Hannah and the judges, but it seems to have come out to an amicable understanding this week. Could see it in the previous weeks. There was a little bit of tension and her tending to take the critiques a little personally. And I'm not saying that that's like it's her fault she took them so personally. I'm just saying that was clearly what was the dynamic. You know, it's interesting to be in the position of the judges because you only have this tiny little soundbite in which to say something helpful. I think the better a dancer is, the more, the easier it is to sort of just be very direct about what needs to be changed. And it's a mark of respect in a way, because we're like, we know that you can take this information on board. We know that you can incorporate it. But it is something that as teachers in any respect, whether judging or otherwise, we have to be a little careful of. You know, while we see the potential of the people we're talking to, so we're not saying, we're not critiquing you. I mean, we are critiquing you, but we're not putting you down because you're not doing this. We're being harder on you because you're better. But if someone has insecurities about it, they're not seeing themselves in that same light. So for Hannah, you know, she's like, they're being so hard on me. They're not being as hard on some of the other dancers. And I get it from the judge's perspective, because she came in with this ballet training, so much like going for her. And then there were just these particular missing pieces. And some of those were ones that was a little harder to fix, like connecting emotionally with the audience, et cetera, et cetera. That can feel more personal, right? Like I've been there. You know, performing in particular is very intimidating. It's very personal. You have to really get outside of your skin, and that's a very difficult thing to do. I can totally see from the judge's perspective where they're like, no, we respect you. That's why we're giving you these critiques. Still, again, she'd get like critiqued, but still get very high scores, right? At least like the vast majority of the time. But I can understand for Hannah not having that internal confidence, even though she should have, by which I mean it's merited for her to have that confidence. She's a very good dancer. So I'm glad that they have cleared the air, and hopefully that will make things easier for her. Okay, scores. 9 from Carrie-Anne. 9 from Len, 9 from Bruno. Here we go with James. He's going to be redoing his cha-cha, which was a dance that I definitely thought was his weakest, although James' weakest was still not that bad. Oh, they gave the crowd fun stuff. Fun. Much better body movement. Yeah. But in my chance I used to worry about the future. But then I threw my caution to the wind. I had no reason to be carefree. His hip action isn't bad. Fun. It's a very fun performance. I'm waiting to get to like to the cha-cha-cha stuff. Nice. Overall, I would like his steps to be a little smaller. Not when he's doing like lifts, that's different. Not bad. He does need to watch his turnout. I've seen toes coming in a fair amount. Nice. He's just such a good natural dancer. He's just so smooth. I would have liked, once again, to see like a little bit more actual cha-cha. I also did not love the song, again. But that is what it is. Let's see. His hip action was decent. I feel like they didn't really give him that many moments to showcase an actual like Latin hip action. They did lots of other hip actions, which were a lot of fun. But I was hoping to see that particular aspect, but okay. Great overall body fluidity. A lot of fun poses. I feel like, I don't know. That was, of course, a huge improvement, or a significant improvement, anyway. But I don't know. I don't think I liked the choreography that much. It could have been more dynamic, more cha-cha. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. But all of that having been said, still very competently danced. He does need to be careful with his foot pressure into the floor because he's letting his toes turn in a little bit, so that would help bump it up. So that was solid, but maybe not his best dance ever, though of course still better than his original cha-cha. Okay, scores for James. 8. 8. 8. Okay, here we go with Lauren's second dance, a Viennese Waltz. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Country waltz, perfect for her. Her feet could be a little more connected to the floor. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Lovely. Mm-hmm. 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 Her shaping has gotten so much better. Her following too. She doesn't look like she's clinging on his arm as much as she has in the past. Mm-hmm. She let her elbow drop a little there, but overall, nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a good job with that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. 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 Remember when she was kind of uncomfortable? Like she had difficulty staying in like the character of the dance because she was just learning to dance for the first time? Not anymore, huh? Very great performance, very lovely, beautiful movements. The thing, I have figured out what it was that I was trying to say in her last dance of tonight's, which I think is also true of this one a little. What it is that sometimes in between moves, she stops dancing. So when I was saying like, I want her to move more, like there's this moment where she just kind of like waits for Gleb, which as a follower isn't necessarily the worst instinct ever, because you're like, if anything goes wrong, you're like, just hold still and the leader will like get back to you. But in a performance, you can sometimes spot it. That having been said, really, again, improvement every week. Lots of lovely arms. Frame has improved. There were a couple moments where it kind of like dropped a little, but overall quite beautiful. It wasn't perfect, but it was still just really lovely and great to watch. Also, I noticed their body connection was consistently good, which was great. That's not easy. Well chosen. I know they don't pick it, but this song was good. I don't know what it was with this fixation on like the disco cha-chas. Like, I don't know. Anyway, little personal opinion there. Anyway, scores for Lauren: 9 from Carrie-Anne, 9 from Len, 9 from Bruno. Makes sense. All right, guys, that was it for part 2 of my semi-final reactions. Interesting night, lots of good dances. Thanks so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching Dance Curious, and I'll see you next time. Bye.